right. Hello, Cancer. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully your day is getting off to a great start. Thank you so much for making some time to be with me today. We're going to be taking a look at the monthly reading. You can use this for your sun, rising, moon, and Venus. And if you stick around until the end, we actually go into that portion as well. You can also look at other aspects of your chart if you happen to know that, or look for other people in your life that you care about. Again, we're going to really help empower you today. And one of the things that was coming through primarily was the ability to break through old barriers, old roles, and for some of you also heal some of the energy that you have with authority figures in your life too. So we'll get into that. I'm going to jump into the channeled messages. Channeled messages for me come through dreams, meditations, and also the research that I do in the morning to kind of like bring all of this together. So let me get started, folks. I'm going to pull up the presentation here and we'll dig straight into the messages. And by the way, right after this, we'll get into the Celtic Cross. I just like to tap into my own intuition first and basically use that because I'm intuitive. I interpret dreams. I'm also a medium and clairvoyant. So I like to kind of mix it up and not just do tarot when we're doing these readings. So this is kind of what we're covering here. There was some projections that I'm going to try to help you work through, some integration and inner child work, and also just balancing out divine masculine and feminine. So the first thing that I saw was this projection, and it was almost like I was talking to a hologram. And as I was talking to the hologram, something weird happened. I mean, it was a person, but I didn't know. I was starting to see like it glitch a little bit, and then I saw other versions of that person, possibly past lifetimes, possibly just who they wanted to be. And then they went back into their sort of projected thing. And I stopped them and I said, I know who you are. I can see who you are. Have you let people around see you, see your true authentic self? And it was kind of like this shock. And I was like, it's okay to be you. And so some of you just need to hear it's okay to be you, not the projected version of yourself. Because first of all, I featured the Seven of Swords here because it's not a Seven of Swords can sometimes get a bad rap. Sometimes it is deception, but sometimes it's a protection. So you're projecting a facade in order to protect what's within. And this month in particular, the facade is ready to be released. And when you release that, it brings you more into your power. Because when you are creating these projections for different people in your life, one for family, one for work, one for close friends, and maybe a few for the people that can truly see you, it's exhausting. And it's taking away and I put the sun instead of the star because I wanted this to be the inner child energy too, and the power center, which is the sun. So people in our life, parents, teachers, and bosses in particular, try to make us be something that we're not sometimes. And so you don't have to please these people anymore in your life. Be as authentic to yourself as you can and integrate. And so here's the cool thing. When you just show up in a very similar way across these spectrums, then people can meet you at their energy, your energetic level, rather than you trying to lower your vibe to meet them. So rising up, integrating, taking the heat to be yourself, and then letting people either file in to support you or fall away. In which case, like the sun here, you're going to pull in higher frequency energy anyway. It's much easier through the lens of many, many years and my own sort of ups and downs to say that, but it's so much better to be yourself at the end of the day. And yes, you might lose some people, but you're going to gain some better people because of that. So this doesn't need to be anymore. It's an old way of being. This is what's awaiting you. Okay? This will allow you to be free. So I chose one of the sort of fun and expressive cards, more fun, I would say, in all of the sort of court cards here. We have the Page of Wands, and this particular illustration from the Lightseer's deck is pretty cool because she's just throwing up her wand in the air and saying, this is who I am, this is what I march to the beat of my own drum. So your boldness, your expressiveness, being able to paint with every color of the palette. Here was another interesting thing. So I saw a different person, not the one with all the holograms. This time it was someone who presented as male, but they were wearing really bright colors. So I decided to wear bright colors for you today. But pink was one of the colors, and there was a little bit of pushback. I actually got someone in comments once, I was wearing a pink shirt, and they said, Why are you wearing that? I'm like, because I like the color. It doesn't matter, folks. All of these things are it's just trappings. So allow yourself to paint with every color in the rainbow. Allow yourself to be whoever you want to be and explore things without the fear of someone else looking at. A lot of times they're just sad that they can't do the same thing, or they're afraid of the way that that makes them feel. So this inner child wants to come out, play, and be itself. Let's save judgment for you and the divine, because no one else really gets to pass judgment. I've had people in my life too that claim to be really connected to faith, and they're sometimes super judgmental to the point that after you say, I'm good, they still feel like they have to keep judging you. So one of my favorite cards, judgment, is basically rising above that and saying, that's you, that's not me. And really allow yourself now to just explore the horizon. Judgment can be coming back after a failure or a mistake and saying, I've learned from that, and now I'm going to be able to rise even higher. And I put this in underlines here, where you work, who you love, what your favorite color is, what clothes you wear, all this stuff, it's no one's business but your own. Are you happy? If you're happy, you're good. Are you helping other people? Are you making the world a better place? If you are, then whatever you're doing is fine. We're all part of the same source energy. Source energy isn't gendered, folks. We may put a gender on it in language, but that's the limitation of language and our imagination, because source energy isn't, it's everything. And so that means that everybody can basically try on different hats in this lifetime. So the jobs that we work, we shouldn't even have gendered descriptions of them. So just you are like a teacher is a teacher. We don't have to kind of gender that, but we do it for other things like actor and actress. It makes no sense. So let's kind of get away from that, because it feels like limits of imagination, limits of society, limits of your own. And this is important because when I pulled the card for today, on the weekend, it was the devil. And then today, to counter it, was star reverse. So in addition to that, I want to put the sun in here. Boldness, honesty, and just being sort of like irreverent and having some fun. It's going to be key to overcoming limitations. And I think that if I can help you overcome those limitations, the sky's the limit. Okay? Those are the messages that initially wanted to come through. And now let's take a look at the messages in the cards. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Basically, it just felt like some of you needed to hear you can be what you want to be. And who cares? Who cares what people think on some levels? I think we've put way too much of a focus on, popularity and acceptance. And it's more important to think like, is this who I am, All right, we're going to take a look at the Celtic Cross now. Let's see what the messages are for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you here. Maybe I'll bring Apollo up later. He's chilling out in the background and sleeping, so I don't want to bother him today. Sometimes people will ask in the comments. He makes an appearance when he wants to. Today, he just wanted to relax. We have the sun as the primary card here in the rising or the crowning position. Seven of Swords, sun. Really cool that they made an appearance in two primary positions here. So that's why sometimes people will say, why don't you get straight into the reading? I do at the beginning. I just have different ways of divining the information, and then there's confirmation as we look at the cards. Peacock, really great energy for showing all your colors, right? Source energy. So we have most of the messages that I brought through initially with this. Protecting yourself in relationships, because this is in the relationship energy. And changes that need to happen. Okay, this is a good month, folks. I mean, if we look past this, we have a lot of love that wants to come through. For the love to come through, we have to get past this protective shield. I told you sometimes the Seven of Swords can be protection. Not allowing yourself to be seen, but you're not being honest enough to pull in the energy that you need. So this is about letting the shield down, letting people see you for who you are, and allowing for that integration to bring in some powerful changes. Let's begin with the peacock. So again, today I was like, I don't know what color I want to wear. I want to wear all the colors. So I wore many anyway. And the peacock represents that, especially the male who has all of the different colors. So again, we're looking beyond traditional expectations. So your parents, your teacher, your partner, someone around you that you love could be saying, I really expect you to do this, and it makes me uncomfortable when you try this or this or this. But if that's what you're supposed to do in your lifetime, that's what you're supposed to do. So basically put your energy out there with a sense of ownership and pride and confidence. And that's what the peacock represents. It's in the upright position. It's filled with this beautiful green heart energy that's coming through, as well as higher energies, blue and purple, connecting you to the third eye and to the crown chakra. So this is heart, intuition, and source energy that's coming through, and beautifully so. So authentically be yourself and without apologies, and then sort of spread those feathers like the peacock and say, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. And if you leave it, that's your loss, not my loss, okay? Let's look at the Celtic Cross and see, just as a quick overview, what everything wants to sort of like show us. I already kind of hit on some of this, but we have the inner child at the center, the Six of Cups. We also have the inner child here with the sun. We have love and relationships coming through after the healing of the inner child. We have authenticity needing to be achieved by the end of the month so that you can enter into this strength and your voice. The Princess of Swords is about your voice. And overall, it's pretty darn good, folks. I feel like once we get through this is your biggest challenge, and the changes that might happen because of it here with the Tower too. All right, let's take it card by card, starting with the Six of Cups. I like that we see this little, baby deer right at the center, because there is a fear of sometimes just stepping out into the world. I have a pretty decent memory, and I can remember back to the first day of kindergarten for sure. But like, I remember the first grade was a little bit more scary for me. And there's like, will I make any friends? Where do I sit? Am I going to be able to be okay? Will I be able to learn? Like all these things, kids have the same fears that adults do. Sometimes they're more intense because you don't have the life experience to reinforce your ability to be okay. So for those of you that are parents, or for those of you that know someone younger, you may be stepping into a mentorship sort of position where you're going to let them know, you know what, you've got this. I know that it's scary. I've been there. And so sharing your wisdom with someone younger, that's a great way to kind of give back to the world, because I'm sure many of you needed that, and someone in your life may need it as well. The other thing here is reconnecting with your inner child. And there may be a part of your past where this is your moment to basically say, you know what, I promised myself I was going to do this. Why am I not doing this? Or there was something joyful as a child that you didn't do because someone in your life said, that's not what I expect of you. I want you to be this. I want you to do that. And this is also overcoming your fears so that you can actually achieve joy in your life. Six of Cups, though not illustrated as such here, is a union card, is a friendship, is a connection, is a soulmate card. The fact that, while I'm grabbing this one, the fact that you got the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups portends really good things, folks, because basically you could be bringing in a new bestie, like a new best friend. You could also be pulling in a really elevated partnership, a karmic relationship. I don't look so much at like twin flames and things of that nature. So I'm going to pull some of the traditional cards while we're talking, just because I want you to see that there are people. I love these cards, but let's not lose the fact that you got 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups. So this is friends and family. This is an intimate relationship. This is like best friend energy. That's important stuff, folks. Like, this is a good month for love, and it's a really important month to be seen. And that's the whole holographic projection thing that I was picking up on. So let's look at this card in comparison. And it is basically just loving yourself and being yourself. The inner 6 of Cups child, we don't learn things like shame and fear and anxiety until we're taught environmentally to feel all of these things. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be ashamed to be yourself. Someone out there really digs your particular singular energy and they want to come through, but you have to be authentic. And there is something that's holding you back from that. So hopefully you don't feel like you have to change the projection, because this person's looking for the real projection. I represented that person. I saw it. Someone else is there with the 6 of Cups energy that sees it too. And this is saying, just don't be afraid, one step at a time. And if you see someone that's trying to be themselves, just like the deer, encourage them. You don't want to move too quickly, kind of like sort out that situation. That's what I'm picking up on. We have the 8 of Cups over top of this. These are karmic markers, folks, because this is someone from the past. This is a return energy. We're entering into what? A retrograde. And so for many of you, this is a time for you to clean up or clear up something from someone in the past. It's also a question of like, where do you stand? Because this card is like an open door, and there may be something where you never really said goodbye. You never really let someone know if you're interested or disinterested. And in order for you to pull in that energy that we see with the 6 of Cups, they need to know. And so in this moment in time, it's really about knowing. And once you kind of say, all right, this is what I want or this is what I don't want, then someone else can come through. So I think this is a better illustration of the 8 of Cups. I like these cards, but I want to contrast them a little bit to show where the people are at. So sometimes you have to walk away from something to see something else. And that's what we basically have here. So if you look at the traditional illustrations of it, we have love that wants to come through, love that might be coming back, or you needing to cut the ties with someone so this person can come through. And what we see in this one is a focus. It almost reminds me of the moon here with all of this. So, you're needing to kind of face some of your fears a bit. And again, this card has a little bit of that sort of gentle energy. Be gentle with yourself and just give it a shot. Step into this new energy of authenticity. And even as I was looking at this deck, I got the Lovers. It's going to be a lot about relationships this month for you. What's the work that you need to do first? Well, basically, for many of you, it's finishing up what you started here. I love the 8 of Pentacles. This is a card where you receive a return on whatever it is that you decide to learn or to put your energy behind. It is the apprenticeship card, and it basically sets you up for success. Many moons of success as we look at this. The moon represents the pentacles in this particular spread, or this particular card. So, for instance, what could this mean? If you didn't finish school and you want to go back and finish school, this can be that. If there is a home improvement project that's left incomplete, this is a time to finish that. If there's something for yourself where you always said, I want to do this for me, time to do that. Journaling, writing, editing, also perfect right now. We have a retrograde that's starting around the 21st, and I think it roughly goes to the 14th or 15th of May. So April 21st to the middle of May. So this is a great time to go back and edit, revise, or plan. And all of these things would also be connected with the 8 of Pentacles, okay? But this is setting you up for success. So if you're thinking of doing something to better yourself, you get a couple of checks here saying, yes, do it. Definitely prioritize personal health, your well-being, your body, making sure that if you've been thinking of exercising or improving your health, you work with a doctor and a professional, obviously, on that. But the Strength card is saying, yes, you are intuitive and you are the magician, because we have that here when we're looking at your health card, actually. But you have to also have a very strong body to pull in the energy. So the physical body matters because it's the means through which energy is channeled and travels into this particular realm. So definitely work with your doctor, your trainer, or whoever in your life that you trust, and focus on personal health and well-being and strength training if you need to. This is also saying I don't have to try to get people to agree with me anymore. Notice how there is no lion in this card. Traditionally, you would see her opening the mouth of that lion, and it's not worth it, folks, right? I always mention, maybe you can do that once or twice, but eventually that jaw is going to clamp down on your hands, and you don't want that. So many of you are realizing I am fatigued, I'm tired with trying to get you to see it from my perspective. You might be tired of always dialing up your friends or texting them to hang out. It's reciprocated. It has to be both ways, or you are kind of giving them some space and figuring out, where do I stand? What do I want? And that's what this card is sometimes, taking a holiday, taking a break, taking a breather. It can be a few minutes, it can be a few days or months, whatever you need right now to get your head on straight and to kind of figure out what you want. That's important because we always have a story with the 3 center cards. So prioritizing your personal health and well-being and your body, also kind of inner child, reconnecting with that, friends and family that you care about the most, finding your voice. And all of this comes from retreating a little bit. This deck is kind of cool because it has captions on it. So the center card was reclaiming innocence. Sometimes we have to get away from things to reclaim that innocence. This is dedicating yourself to whatever it is that you want to do. And obviously it's a major card. It's just about strength. Let's get to the crowning card, which was nicely connected to what I had mentioned earlier, the sun card. And I was like, well, I pulled the star for today, but this sign is not the star. They're the sun, the star closest to us. But the sun represents the child within. It also represents solar plexus energy. And in this particular deck, we see the mountains here, and it's saying rise above challenge, rise above adversity, and basically lead the path, lead the way. You may not have a parent, a guardian, a person in your life that has the capacity to sort of be the person that you're looking for. Sometimes you have to be that person for yourself. Again, I love these cards, but I want to show that there's a child in this one as well. So I'm going to pull the traditional sun card while we're talking. And I like the differences that this deck shows us. So here is the baby, basically, that wants to come out, the inner child. Lots of children present. Some of you may actually be starting a family or might be doing something in your life right now where there's more of an impact for the next generation or for children. But you have to heal your inner child first before you can connect with those other people in your life, okay? So reclamation of power, prioritization of self, and it's not selfish to make sure that you're okay. You should be okay. Taking care of yourself is important. So especially if you're a parent, you have to be okay so that your child or your family or the people around you can depend upon yourself. So make sure that your health and your, I would say, physical, mental, and emotional health are all where they need to be. And if not, healing is necessary right now. How does this happen? Through articulation. We have the Princess or the Page of Swords coming through. She's using her voice. She's still a little tentative, but she's starting to use her voice. The caption on this card is about curiosity. If you don't know something, that's okay. Ask a question. If you feel like you need to talk about something, open up the dialogue. It doesn't have to be outspoken with the Princess of Swords. It's just sort of like connecting and seeing, testing the waters a little bit and seeing what do you think about this? You can start a conversation that way. There's nothing self-effacing. There's nothing weird about it. You could just simply say, I have some thoughts on this, but I'd love to get your feedback. What do you think? Questions are a really nice way to open up. It's saying, I value you. I value you enough to want to listen to your thoughts. So it's actually it's a kind energy to ask a question in that way. So use your curiosity to engage people and to pull them into your energy. And guess what? You have that capacity here because we saw it here in the environment, 10 of Cups. I talked about this on the weekend, the roses. I said there is a rose to be had. We have to sometimes get through the prickles or the thorns on the rose, but you're in the blooming phase right now, and people are very much attracted to that. So we'll talk more about you in a second, but what I see in the environment is this: love, support, Guess what? Some more children. Some of you must be thinking of starting something new or starting a family, because we've got every possible child that I could pull in the minor arcana coming through. Let's focus on you first, then we'll dig a little bit more into the Ten of Cups here. So you're coming through with my favorite boss energy, Queen of Wands, because she's a little bit magic. She has the capacity to make things grow and work even when there's a lack of resources, and that's why I like her so much. Typically, we see her in the desert with a sunflower and a black cat, and she's bringing abundance even in that sort of place where you see no abundance. It's coming from her thoughts, her energy, the people that she knows, and so that's actually part of this. Is it's not so much just who you are or what you know, it's also who you know. So this Queen of Wands is very actively networking. She's connecting with the Ten of Cups. She's connecting with the joyous energy of the sun. She's connecting with the Six of Cups. So all of these people that were kind of hidden in this illustration, she's pulling all of that energy through, and she's not afraid to go the distance if she has to go the distance and travel outside of her comfort zone. So we see this sort of outreach energy that wants to come through. But again, you're not alone this month. There's so much energy of people. It starts with you, but then you pull in other people, and then we start to see even more recognition. So I see like, it's almost like it gets stronger. These waves of energy start to increase, and things start to get a little bit easier with each wave of healing that you do for yourself. Are you looking for love this month? If you are, good news, it's coming through. We have the Ten of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Six of Cups. It's something or someone from either a past life or the past in this life. So what you want to do is clean up your energy so that this union is an elevated union, because everything about the center wants elevation. The thing that will elevate it is this: being yourself, without apologies, without pride, with just being yourself, authentically being you. The peacock is almost like the star card. The sun is about the inner child that needs to be born, reborn. So yes, I see love. In existing relationships, honesty is the most important thing. In new relationships, honesty is the most important thing. Honest with you, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, and expecting the same in return. Expecting nothing less than honesty, actually, from new partners that come through. If they can't be authentic, they may not meet the litmus test of what you, they don't meet the litmus test of what you need. So, as I mentioned, this could simply be old habits. But in my dream, I was the fox, and you're the fox too, and the other person's the fox. They're gonna see through the facade. You're gonna see through the facade. So better to just let the facade go. It's going to be braver, more attractive, more sustainable, and just better, health-wise, to be you. And if anyone doesn't like you for you, I don't like them, and you shouldn't either. They're not good enough. At this point, it's sort of like, let someone else that's ready come through. You don't need to deal with the old cycle. That's an old cycle. This retrograde is teaching you that you don't have to be something that you're not. Because it's a play, it's a facade, it's a holographic projection. And that's not, people will still see the true you eventually. So let's just start the month off with authenticity, and then we'll expand. I may pull an extra card to see what awaits you beyond the Seven of Swords. I'm going to do it now, folks. We're not going to wait until later. And I don't always do a reader's choice, but I have one for you today. What if you're authentic? What if you just avoid the Seven of Swords? What will that be? Then we'll expand the forecast. So we have the Princess of Discs in reverse, a Page of Pentacles reverse. You get what you want. You get more. Things come through. It's a good thing. And it says right here, manifestation. So you can manifest something better if you're authentic. But you have to reach, and you have to sort of say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. Okay? Now, let's expand. Looking at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Here's an interesting thing with tarot. If you don't like what you see, learn from it and say, all right, I don't want the Seven of Swords. What if I'm just the opposite of that? Oh, well then, okay, let's do this. I like that. This is a conversation with spirit. It's not a decree. I'm not destiny with a book in front of me saying this is all that there is. I'm a GPS saying, this is what will happen if you do this. Maybe you should try this. What do you think about this? And you are driving your own car, deciding which path to take. That's how tarot works. It informs energy. It informs you about the energy, and you decide. Free will is always with you, and you can always make course adjustments, and that's why we show up. The first thing that we look at in the expanded forecast is health, and this comprises mind, body, and spirit. And as we look at the health card here, we have the Magician reversed, manifestation reversed. And it's basically saying you can make the necessary changes, but there's some inner resistance to that. And for many of you, there could be disbelief that you are source. You're the source of all the changes and all the energy and all the opportunity. So the main thing that I want to say is you have the potential, you have the capacity. Don't doubt yourself. Easier said than done, especially when people around you constantly try to make you think that they're the ones that have the power or that you need to listen to them. Accountability, power, and channeling all comes from you. Let's look at some other messages around health and well-being. So the first and the most important thing is don't overcommit. A lot of times this is a people-pleasing card. And I got the energy, particularly, it was paternal. It was like fatherly energy. So it could be a boss or, again, mother or father, but I got divine masculine energy when I tuned into it. So that paternal energy really wanted you to be something, or you were trying to please them. And I saw through that. And I actually, in my meditation, my dream, I said, have you told your father who you are? Like, just show up and be yourself, because I see it and there's nothing to be afraid of. But someone was afraid. And again, so divine masculine, the divine masculine figure in your life, boss, best friend, father. I'm just looking at archetypes when I dream. So the archetype of that paternal energy seemed to be blocking your potential to express. So express yourself. We don't want the deception energy there, sort of like overarching all of that. And this is the antithesis of that. This is the elevated divine masculine, just saying, I can be bold, I can have all these colors, and I can still be who I am. There's something that's overdue in your life. It could be finishing something, because this is a baby that needs to be born. This is something that needs to be finished. This is returning to the past. Finish what you intended to start. Finish what you started and intended to finish. This is the time to do it. There could be healing from the past, brother, sister, best friend. They're coming back, or you're thinking about them. This is a time to go back and say, I love you, or I'm sorry, or how are you doing? I meant to call you. Reconnecting with also sort of those younger connections in your life. Focusing on your body, as we talked about. Throat chakra as well, coming through pretty loud and clear. And then the main thing here is just having proper boundaries. There's a lot of people. She's the boss, but there's a lot of people coming in and out with the 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and 2 of Cups. This is going to help you as you start to potentially enter into new relationships and partnerships in the month ahead. Most of it's pretty manageable with health as we're looking at this. Don't underestimate your power. Reclamation of power is the main thing. Solar plexus in particular could be an area that could be worked on. Yoga, Pilates, and other sort of strength training can help open up that chakra as well. All right, let's move on to wealth, career, and life purpose. This is multifaceted and multi-part. And this one says, this card is reversed, but it says, your mind is an altar to source energy. Another way of looking at this is, if you can see it, you can do it. Don't always look for data as the guiding force, because everything starts at some point with an idea. Literally, the fact that we show like a light bulb, a light bulb moment, someone had to think about that to invent it, thinking these candles are not sustainable. What if we could somehow keep electrical energy in there and show the light and do that instead? So someone had to mess around a little bit with a bunch of stuff, thank you Edison, to make that happen. So you have to imagine it, have the light bulb moment, and then do the work. First light bulbs weren't the best. You had to keep trying so that they didn't explode. There was the right amount of filament, that the gases were right in there, everything. So give it a few shots too. Just because it doesn't happen the first time, that's fine. Research and development takes time. It's like film. Sometimes you don't always get the right exposure. You do it again. So a few passes may be necessary to get what you need to happen. You are the source. These are both source connected energies. This is source connection. So we have 3 cards showing power, empowerment, and ability. All right, taking that into consideration, You're showing up as the boss. This is you. I like that. This is kind of how you're expressing yourself in the interim. There's a big divide between a queen and a page. So I feel like there's a growth opportunity. I think that having a conversation with someone about stepping into a new role, this can be in a relationship, this can be in a family, this can be at work, but it's sort of like it starts with saying, this is going to be the Cliff's Notes or Sparks Notes version of it, but just saying, I love you. I think you care about me. I think we both want each other to be happy. This is something that would make me happy. What can we do to make this happen? And how can I also support you in what you need? Having mutually agreeable and mutually sort of beneficial conversation where it all comes together. Because there's a lot of love coming through the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. And it all starts and ends with love. So you talk to someone and you say, I have some important news and I care about you, so you're the first person I wanted to talk to. That really, that's, first of all, you're building them up. You're letting them know that this is important. You're letting them know that you're already kind of tapped into this. And so they have to be gentle with you as you're kind of putting yourself out there. But you can communicate with love and mutual beneficial sort of energies, and that's going to give you a chance to basically get what you want in the best possible way. And hopefully they get what they want too. So we're looking at manifestation through love, honesty, and integrity. The antithesis of this card, because both of you are wise enough to see through facades. It might be time to move on. It might be time to start your own company. Anytime I see these, but I think that before you do that, especially for those of you that are working, just have a heart to heart and say, this is what I want. This is, I think, what you want. Can we make this work for the both of us? Find the middle ground. Other things coming through. Some of you are going back to school. Looks good. Looks great, actually. It's going to give you the confidence boost that you want. And other than that, I feel like the main thing here is if you really be careful of signing any contracts, particularly during the retrograde period, but also if it's just a contract that you know isn't what you want it to be, don't sign it. If you know that you can't deliver on something, better to say at the beginning, I really want to do this, but this is unrealistic. Let's adjust this. This is what I can agree to. Just be honest at the beginning. That's going to save you so much time. Ask a question. Say, I'm curious about this clause or this thing. Can we try this instead? You can always go about the negotiation that way. Definitely this is a month to negotiate. I feel like you have a good chance of getting what you negotiate for, as long as it's you don't have to like steamroll the person. It's basically showing that you have a point of view, but you also understand how to make this work for the two of you. And then you can make it work. You're set up for leadership this month. This can also be your own sort of, inner saboteur coming out, and you just need to kind of like push that away and say, no, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to focus on embracing the opportunity that set itself up in front of me. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. This is why I think for many of you, the Seven of Swords came through. It was projection and sometimes it's like you're putting a false front out there, not because you want to lie, but because you're afraid of what people would think if they know the truth. But if they're not knowing the true you, they're not really knowing you, and it's a house of cards. So be honest with yourself and with others. And if all of you are doing well, it could be someone around you that you need to encourage and say, it's fine. We can have a frank conversation. What's on your mind? Don't hold back. What do you need to talk about? And that's going to be key. All right, taking the defensive stance out of this, it says make plans and focus. Well, this is how you elevate your ability to manifest. And the Magician in reverse lacks focus. So this is saying focus on the one thing where you can make the biggest impact in your life. And this is how you're going to be able to strengthen business partnerships in particular, but any partnership. Saying like, this is what I really need, or this is what I want to focus on, or kind of what I said, like sometimes what comes through in a dream, it's what needs to be heard. So what I said to the person that was not meant to make them feel uncomfortable is I said, I see you. I see the real you. Do you want to talk about that? Because I feel like it's difficult for you to be you. And that gave them enough. It was like wink, nod, like I can see through all of this. Let's have a conversation. You don't have to worry with me. I said, I'm intuitive. I see the truth. And this isn't the truth. So you don't want to say that because that's accusatory, but just say, I feel like I could help you out, or I feel like I can support you. Do you want to have honest conversation. And that will help. And letting someone know also that you can see the work that they've been doing. This can also just be gratitude, folks, saying, you may not think that I see all the little things that you do, but thank you for this, thank you for that. I also see some of the frustration and stress that you're going through. Do you want to talk about it? That's a way of saying, this is wide open and it sees all of this, but I've been waiting for you to come to me. But if you're afraid to come to me, I want to start the conversation. So that could be some of what you want to do in relationships this month. Now taking a look at 3 different particular spheres that I like to look at. For those of you in a relationship looking for love, or single and happy. So if you're already in a loving relationship, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of good energy this month. It feels like at the core of it is this sort of playful 6 of Cups energy, which is besties, right? And so it feels like it started off from a camaraderie point of view. One thing that's kind of affecting that, though, is the distance energy with the 8 of Cups. So we have a little bit of shyness around talking about this. So there may be a need to just sort of bridge the gap of the distance a little bit. I feel like one of you might be focusing a lot on maybe like self-improvement or work. This can be work, school, or learning a lesson in your life. So there's a lot of that kind of integration and elevation work going on, but it leaves the other person waiting and wondering where they're at. So come out of that shell a little bit and occasionally come back together. The answer is right here, the 10 and the 2 of Cups. Hanging out with mutual friends, but also hanging out together. Spending some time and just having fun. Because one of you is better at communicating, one of you is better at demonstrating, but we need both of you to come together and find a common way to express and to communicate this month. And it's important to just sort of get to the core of things. What is it that you really need to discuss? The inner wisdom is going to come through anyway, so you're going to be all right. Letting someone know I've got your back is going to be important. And Apollo came through right on cue. Hey, buddy, good to see you again. Yes. Okay, so those are for the folks in love. Here's the thing that is important. I always like to look like, are you going to be okay? Hopes, fears, and opportunity, we have the 2 of Cups. Pretty darn good. Near future, it's all about asking a question, checking in, and communicating. The block here is just not saying what you need to say. So honesty and integrity is key. If you're looking for love this month, yes, exclamation point, underline, bold. Yes, you can find love. It is karmic in nature based on what I'm seeing here with all of these past life energies. And it's kind of fun because we got like all the baby cards here. So it feels like this is someone whom you could laugh with quite a bit. So this might be someone who also is attracted to you across the room because they see you smiling, giggling, laughing, hanging out with friends and having a good time. The way to meet someone is not by swiping on an app. It's by hanging out and doing something in the world with friends and being yourself and not looking for somebody. It feels like the person comes to you because you are doing something that you love. So if you like volunteering on the weekends and like working in a soup kitchen, or if you like working in the yard, or if you like singing in the choir, or painting and taking a class at a community college, I don't care. Do something you love. Doing the activity that you love is how you meet someone, because you are in love with that sort of energy, and love is all around and it starts to pull people in. So that's the key to meeting someone. You might need to you want to ask someone what their status is with a relationship. It feels like someone may or may not be ready. So if you and also ask yourself, are you interested in just dating, or do you want like to get really serious? Because this is coupling up and this is the beginning of a relationship. So the speed with which you're moving, that's the question that I have here. How fast do you want it? Be honest with yourself, be honest with others. That's the only thing that you might want to be aware of. And then also make sure that they are unattached. When I get the 7 of Swords, are they divorced? Are they on the rebound? Are they living with someone that they broke up with? Like, let's get the full story. So that's why take your time, get to know them and ask the questions. Curiosity, there's no bad question. Just as long as it's coming from love, and especially when you're dating, just kind of like bring up the standard questions to make sure that you're all on the same page. There could also be, for those of you that have a child or are looking for someone, they could have a child in their life. If it's not a big deal, fine. I actually get really lovely energy. So this is maybe not always what we expect, but sometimes it's a package deal. So there could be a child attached to this lovely individual. And these are good children cards, folks. So I like it. If you're open to that, you could have more love in your life if you look at it from that perspective. They could also just be a pet lover, and they might have a few animals too. So I'm picking up on a younger energy around them. Let me see if there's anything else, or they could be a teacher. What do you want to focus on? Really making sure that you, again, finish what you start and that you're taking care of your health. These things are going to be necessary so that you can keep up with whoever comes into your life. They're pretty bold, and I think they're looking for that bold energy in you as well. All right. If you're single and happy, it's a great time to be single and happy. You're still going to network a lot, meet a lot of people. Got a lot of folks in these cards here. Very close to what was happening when I was looking at the weekend collective. Like I got every court card. Now I got every kid card here. So for you, I think it's really fun to have all this playful, childlike energy. It's irreverent, it's fun, it's expressive, and it moves things forward. So have some fun. Take yourself a little less seriously and try to take others a little less serious and just have a laugh. Having a laugh is going to be really important this month. And I know last year I didn't have a lot to laugh about. It was a tough year. There was a lot going on. But when I finally allowed myself to kind of experience some joy and all of that, like it opens up a lot of channels. So I get it. Sometimes grief and frustration and movement and stress comes in, but find the inner child is waving its hand around just like Apollo does sometimes, saying, Dad, take me on a walk. Let's go out. Let's have some fun. You're working too much. So all these children are coming out saying the same thing of you, especially if you're single and happy. Get out and be even happier and do some things that bring some more joy in your life. And that's what I'm picking up on. All right, destiny is change. This is pretty consistent with everything that I'm looking at for May. Lots of change energy, lots of I've been pulling death and the tower and the world, and it makes sense because the retrograde is fitting nicely between April and May. So this is your chance to try something new. This is not a scary tower by any means. It kind of looks like, was it Rapunzel? Throw down your hair. It's sort of like, sometimes we're stuck in a tower that's not of our own making. So for many of you, this is just taking a leap of faith. It's time to get out of a situation. Making a necessary change is what I see. So this could represent a beneficial move, a beneficial change of job, and it reminds me of the Disney retelling where she had to cut her hair. So this might also be making a change in how you represent yourself, which was very much in alignment with what I was tuning into in dreams last night. Change for the better, for sure. Okay. And it could be relationship status change too. So you might be meeting someone or you might be breaking up with someone, but either way, remember, it's change for the better. All right. We're going to move next into another expanded portion of this reading where we look at sun, rising, and moon messages. Gives you all a little bit deeper understanding, especially if you're watching for one of those aspects of your chart, or if you know someone that has sun, rising, or moon in Cancer. Let's shuffle the cards and see what's coming through. Sun, rising, and the moon. And we got the Page of Wands, which is good, since lots of synchronicities today with what I was pulling up earlier in my channeled messages. Starting off with the sun sign, it is about knowing when to give, knowing when to take, knowing when to say no. Six of Pentacles, in short, is discernment. And rather than showing the scales, they're just showing the open hands. The open hands work both ways. So typically in the card, you see at least two people, one person holding scales and another person, and the same person kind of deciding how much to give. In this case, let's just throw all that old symbology out, and it's give and take. And so you only have so much energy to give, and people will take as much as you're willing to give. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. You can play both ends of that. Sometimes you're giving, sometimes you're receiving. So ask for what it is that you need. You have a good chance of getting that as well. We have generosity here. Some of you may suffer from being so generous that you exhaust yourself. So this is saying, have boundaries, say no when you need to, and then on the flip side, ask for what it is that you need because you have a good chance of receiving. This month is about reestablishing balance, perhaps balance that has been lost. The good news here is that you have a lot of support and a lot of resources around you that are willing to kind of step in and give you a hand. So all you have to do is ask. And if something feels like it's too much, all you have to do is say, no, that's enough. I can't do that anymore. Okay? So those are the sun sign messages. By the way, I look for Six of Pentacles as the base or minimum card for success when it comes to money, energy, and resources. So you've got enough this month. This is a building block sort of card though, so it's important to have limits, say no, and not overextend yourself. Rising and Ascendant, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. It's hard to stay motivated. And this is, I think this came up on the Weekend Collective as well, but with this, sometimes what happens is competition. And if it's not competition, sometimes it's just a lack of leadership. So what happens is people are doing sort of, what's the best word? Duplicative work. So one person is doing the same work that you're doing, but you don't communicate status. And it's like, well, that was a waste of time. Well, here's two versions of this. And so I think one of the opportunities is trying to get organized, organization, collaboration, and leadership. Maybe you want to step into that role because we got the boss card. If not, you want to put your energy behind someone that can. We got two sort of like cards of trying to reestablish or find some balance. Here's the cool thing though, with the Five of Wands, you're one step away from success. So again, finishing what you've started is going to be a key to that. Pushing through past this little hiccup when it comes to maybe lacking inspiration or lacking leadership. Once you get through that, things are going to get better, and you may find yourself sort of leading the charge like the Six of Wands, okay? Moving on to moon sign messages. This is where you can be sort of, be wild here. We've got the peacock energy coming through. So the Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands is unencumbered, unafraid, uninhibited on some levels, and just basically explores and expresses whatever it is that they need to explore and express. And this card actually even has exploration at the bottom here. So try something different, shake it up. Don't do the same old, same old. And also you might just need to show someone that it will work, whatever that is. If it is like, I can do this for my job, you just go out, you land a job, you take care of yourself, and friends or family are like, well, I guess you're doing it. Okay, you must be onto something. If it's a relationship and you suddenly have just, entered into your 7th year together or something, it's like, okay, I guess that was real. Just show people by doing it. Sometimes that's the best way there, because you can talk something into oblivion, but if you just show up and show that you can do it, that might be part of this as well. Listen. One thing with all the pages is to listen. There could be an opportunity knocking, but you have to be tuned in. Okay, we are now getting ready for the meditation. Right after that, I pull a final card to answer any other question that you might have. All you have to do is meditate on that question, and that'll allow me to connect with it. So let's go ahead and get ready for the meditation. Quick request before then, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already, and give me a follow on social media. I'll talk more about that after the meditation. For today's meditation, I really want to help you break free of projections and just be that beautiful solar energy that we have here. And actually, this one's a little bit more fun because he's kind of riding a horse. You can imagine it being a unicorn or whatever. We're going to focus on the sun, the energy of the sun, and maybe even some sunflowers too, nicely connected to the Queen of Wands energy. All right, close your eyes if you will. Imagine that you're sitting in a field of sunflowers. You're watching as they gently move back and forth in the breeze, and you take a deep breath as you watch them sway back and forth. On the exhale, you feel your spine loosening a little bit, your energy starting to open up, and you even kind of move and sway around a little bit with the sunflowers. Being that they follow the direction of the sun across the sky, pay attention to which direction they're facing, and then tune into the solar energy just like a satellite dish. And I'd like you to just be open to receiving. Receiving healing if you need to be healed. Love if you're feeling that your heart needs to be healed. Abundance if you're seeking opportunity in your life. Or just a sense of community and camaraderie if you want that as well. You can have all of this and more, and that can be part of your meditation as well. Lay back, if you will, around all of these sunflowers and the sun itself, and just bathe in that solar energy as I play the singing bowl. We'll come back then and look at the final card for today after the meditation. continue to breathe as I play the singing bowl, and be right back. Yourself to slowly come back into your body, feeling as if you have received a sort of inner charging from the tips of your toes to the top of your head like a battery. You're at 100% charge. So much so that if I were to look at you from a distance, I would just see this bright, resplendent being standing on the horizon, only being able to see this, basically all these rays of light coming from your body. See yourself as that resplendent light being, capable of creating, co-creating, capable of pulling into existence and manifestation whatever you need to. Slowly, on the next exhale, open your eyes and put your intention and your focus on the final question that you have for me. Keeping your eyes open, continuing to breathe, focus on that question, and let's see what the cards have to say. One of the best cards that we could pull, we have the Queen of Swords. She is communicative, she is strong, she is just, and she is ready to get some work done. She's ready to get started. So basically, the Queen of Swords is perfect for starting the action. So whatever plans or intentions you have, the universe is coming through and saying yes, comma, but the next step is actually to create the movement, to say, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to do it, I'm going to reach out to this person. So we definitely have like project management ability coming through, communication ability, and just rolling up your sleeves and doing it. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how. And that's what the Queen of Swords is saying. So it's time to get started, and that's a yes. And this is also accentuating the importance of communication, even though you're on the heels of, whether you're watching it live or next month, we have a little bit of a retrograde last 2 weeks of April and first 2 weeks of May, but that's not going to hold you back. You're just going to be very clear in communication and hopefully thrive during this period. I hope you enjoyed today. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and we'll get to the next milestone and do something fun with that. Follow me on social media. It's always my first and last name, no underlines, no extra characters, no spaces. You can look for verification on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if anyone isn't verified and they've changed the spelling, it's fake. I recently got one taken down on TikTok. It's like every week there's someone that I've got to work with on that. A quick reminder, I don't give private readings, I don't use direct messages, and I don't offer things in comments. So if anybody's trying to get you to do something using one of those methods, block them, let me know, report them as well. Okay, if you ever need to get information on where to find me, you can do that on my website. And thank you to everybody that did join as a member or has given back with super stickers, super chat. It's good to have all of you here. I'd like to actually take a couple of moments here just to say thanks to those of you that did. And let's see what's going on here. So to the newest members here, I'm going to say welcome, and then we will say thanks for the stickers too. All right, so it looks like we have 2 new members today, William Guest and Renee. Thank you, brand new members. Good to have you here, and I appreciate all that you guys bring. For the super stickers and super chat, I think I saw a couple, so I want to make sure that I call out who gave back. Monica, thank you so much. And Lori, thank you too. Let me see if anybody celebrated an anniversary. Sometimes it's hard for me to see that, but I'll look and see here. No, I think I got everybody. All right, folks, thank you so much for being a part of today's reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. A reminder that I'm here every Monday, Thursday, and Friday to look at monthly forecasts for the next month. I'm here every Sunday for a weekly forecast, and you can also tune into my daily card readings. In the meantime, wishing you lots of love and light. Take care of yourselves. And again, thanks for being present today. All right, folks, have a good one. Bye-bye.